Hello, I'm Julia Hankins, Children's Wellbeing Specialist and consultant and mentor. And I work with other kids yoga teachers to help build their confidence and make them feel ready to share their unique gifts with the world, to change more lives through teaching yoga and other wellbeing strategies. And so today I want to talk all about relationships and building positive relationships in kids yoga classes. And this is because relationships are really the most important thing to me in my classes. I believe that the main reason that my classes are so successful is because I value relationships and they're at the heart of everything that I do. And I'm going to share a quote by psychiatrist Bruce D. Perry, whose clinical research and practices focusing on examining long-term effects of trauma in children. And so I think this is really a really relevant quote for you to know. And Bruce D. Perry says that the more healthy relationships a child has, the more likely he or she or they will be to recover from trauma and thrive. Relationships are the agents of change, and the most powerful therapy is human love. I just love that. I'm going to say it again. So the more healthy relationships a child has, the more likely they will be to recover from trauma and thrive. Relationships are the agents of change, and the most powerful therapy is human love. And so I think that even if you only spend a small amount of time with children, especially if you're teaching them, it's still possible to build a really healthy, strong relationship in which the children can feel secure and they can thrive. And research consistently shows that children who develop secure attachments early in life tend to have higher self-esteem, better emotion regulation skills, and healthy relationships later in life. And so today I'm going to be drawing on the work of clinical professor of psychiatry, Dr. Daniel Siegel, and his 4 S's of secure attachment. And this work has really heavily influenced how I am as a parent and also how I am as a teacher. And Dr. Daniel Siegel outlines 4 key elements that are needed for secure attachment, which are safe, seen, soothed, and secure. And I'm going to talk about each one and how we can achieve each one in our own classes. So starting with safety, I mean, obviously this is like emotional safety, physical safety, mental safety. So reminding children of your name is a really important thing for children to feel safe with you. So even if you think you know, even if you think they know, I have my name on my t-shirt, but I still remind them at the start of every class, because knowing somebody's name helps them to feel really safe. So let children know what to expect from you and also what to expect from the class. And again, I do this at the start of every single class, even in the classes where I've been teaching for 4 years or more, I still start with the same way. And that's to make children feel safe. They're like, oh, okay, I'm here. This is Julia. She's reminding me what to expect of the lesson, and she's reminding me what she expects of me. So being clear about your boundaries and sticking to them. If children see that you're maintaining a rule or a boundary, then they know that they can trust you to do what you say, what you're going to do. So for example, if you say that one of your rules is that everybody stays on their mat, but then they see a child flouting that rule and wandering around everywhere, then they may not trust that you will do what you say you're going to do, and they may not trust the words that you say. They may not feel safe in that situation. I'm not talking about like random children that genuinely struggle with following rules and that are likely to be doing that in their own classrooms anyway, because you will find children like that. I'm talking about just groups of children, like if everybody is just completely ignoring you, then children won't feel safe with you. So maintaining a rule and a boundary is really important in your classes for safety. Obviously, we really need to ensure that the practice is safe too, so that the activities that you use, the props you use, the environment that you're in, that the lessons are safe and appropriate to the age group. We also need to make sure that we're being emotionally safe. So sometimes children get dysregulated in our classes, and how you respond to that will heavily impact how safe they feel. So remember to respond in a calm and non-judgmental way, and that's really helpful to make them feel safe. Also, a key element of helping children feel safe in your classes is explaining what's coming next, or warning if there's any changes going to be environmentally. So, for example, I'm going to turn off the lights now before turning off the lights. Little things like that help children feel safe, and you never really know what children have experienced who are in your class. My hair's really static. I don't know if it's because it's cold or because it's my fluffy jumper, but my hair's like I might have to tie it up in a minute. So the next of the 4 S's, we've done safe. Now we're going to do seen. So here we're talking about making every child feel important and valued for who they are. And this is really a lot easier in community classes or extracurricular classes because numbers tend to be smaller and we tend to have more time to interact with individual children and hear what they have to say on an individual level. And it can be tricky to achieve when you're teaching large groups of children, but I do believe that it's possible, and here are some things that you might like to try. So again, using names, but this time using the children's names, making sure that you can use their names. So either you know their name because you've learnt it, or if, like me, you teach hundreds of children in a week and there's no way you can remember everyone's name, using name cards is important, and using every opportunity to use a child's name and in a positive way as well. So we're not just using children's names when they're doing something wrong, we're using names when we've acknowledged that they're doing something that's different or cool or creative or imaginative or they're listening well, using their names as much as possible. So also another thing that you can do to make children feel seen is to gather their opinions. So obviously in smaller groups that's easy because you can just talk about it and listen. But if you're in a big group, you can still do this by getting children to show you. So it could be by using a game, for example, Love It or Lose It, where they do one position to show you that they love something and another position to show you that they don't love it or leave it, not love it or lose it. So I normally get them to do starfish if they love something, or mouse if they want to leave it, they don't love it. So it could be like colours or activities or food or sports, things like that. But getting children involved in sharing with you their opinions can help them feel seen. Another thing that you could do to get children to share with you their opinions is by getting them to vote. So it could be that you've got some postcards out and you want them to show them their favourite pose. It could be that they're showing with you with their body their favourite pose, or it could be that they're voting by placing their scarf or a beanbag or a soft toy or whatever they've got onto their favourite pose. And that's just a way of them being involved and them feeling like you've seen what it is that they like. Also, another important part of helping children feel seen is making sure that everybody gets a turn. Now, I need to keep a little list of that. So if you do something like children pick from a bag or children get a chance to show something and you take it in turns, then making sure that everybody's going to have a go over the amount of time that you're working together is really important. Another thing that I do to help children feel seen is I walk around and I give children eye contact if they feel comfortable. Not all children will, but praise or comments or smiles and giving like little nuggets of one-to-one time wherever you can. You can also have little chats with children when you see them. So it might be around the school, or it might be as they're putting their shoes on, or if they've lined up, or if you've noticed somebody within the lesson and you're just having a little snippet of a one-to-one conversation with them. And if you notice somebody who you realise you haven't actually connected with before and you see them and you're like, oh, do I normally teach you? I don't recognise your face. Then take that as a signal that you maybe need to have a little connection with them, a little one-on-one time. So that's safe and seen. And now we're going to talk about soothed. So this is about helping children to regulate their emotions and teaching coping mechanisms. It also can involve supporting children if they're upset or distressed by offering comfort or reassurance. This can be a tricky one when you're delivering a lesson because our main focus really does need to be on the group and teaching the children. We can't stop the class every single time somebody gets a little bit upset, because it very quickly will descend into chaos. Take it from someone who knows. If one person is crying and you stop the lesson and you go and chat to them, and the other children don't have anything to do, then it will just get absolutely chaotic. So another thing to be aware of is that we may not actually be the best person to soothe a child if there's an issue going on anyway. It may be better that they have that conversation with somebody who's got a closer relationship with them. So the way that I view this is more acknowledging and validating feelings of children as they arrive. So, for example, if somebody's upset because they didn't get the soft toy they wanted, commenting on how hard it is when we feel disappointing and acknowledging that. So rather than just being like, oh, cheer up, it's just a soft toy, we won't always get what we want, and then moving on, it's acknowledging that feeling that's behind that. Like, oh yeah, it's really hard to feel disappointment, isn't it? Yeah. And we can also offer support and comfort by asking the children if they'd like to sit next to us. So it could be that you do need to continue teaching, but that child needs just a little bit of extra. So you could move them to come and sit next to you, or even join you on your mat if they're just needing somebody there next to them, a little bit of support. You could also have a quick chat with them, but when everybody else is already occupied in an activity. So it could be that you acknowledge, oh, I can see that you're upset. I'm going to come to you in a minute. Everybody else, this is what we're going to do. Set everybody else up, make sure everyone's doing something safely. And then that's the time to go and talk to the other child and offer them some support or reassurance or comfort if they need it. But ultimately, it may be best sometimes to pass on the information to another adult who the child has a closer relationship. So it could be a teacher, a teaching assistant, or a parent, if you feel that's necessary. And also you can get the child's friends to support here as well. If you are aware of who their friends are, they're really good at supporting each other. So that's safe, seen, soothed, and now on to secure. So children feel secure when they know what to expect from whatever it is they're doing, when they know to expect what from you and from the lesson itself. So that means being calm and consistent in your approach. So no explosive shouting, and no like switching up the way that you behave, being predictable, being exactly the same person each time. That can be hard, can't it? We can't all be the same person every time. We all have these times when we're not perfect. So this isn't about, shaming yourself if you've had a bad day. This is just try to be as consistent as you can and as calm as you can in your approach. Another thing that helps children feel secure is having routines. So starting your class in the same way, ending in the same way each time, having systems in place for the way that you do things, so that the children just feel really settled and well orientated in the class because they know what to expect. You can also have a clear structure to your classes so the children know what's coming next, and you might even use like little cards to show, right, this is what's happening now. You may have a little timetable if that works for you, or you may share with them the structure, or you may just know instinctively your structure and do it consistently every time, and that may be enough. So that will help children feel secure. So this was just a really quick overview of Daniel Siegel's 4 S's to secure attachment: safe, seen, soothed, and secure. I hope that you found it useful. I hope that there's things that you can apply to your own practice. And I hope that you see how important and valuable building relationships is. If you found any of these elements difficult and you're not quite sure what I mean, or if you'd like some more support with anything that I've mentioned here, you may be interested in some further training. I've got quite a few different self-paced e-courses that may support you with some of this, or you may like to work with me. I can mentor people on a one-to-one basis, either in a short period of time, so for an hour or an hour and a half, or for a longer 6-month program. So get in touch or check out my website, which is juliahankins.co.uk, and there's a little menu there. You can click training, workshops or mentoring, or you can just email me to julia@juliahankins.co.uk. But I would love to know your thoughts on this, so please comment if you found it interesting. Please make sure that you like and subscribe, and if you found something that I said today really useful, maybe share it with somebody else. Thanks very much for watching.